Hey guys, this is Andy Crowley here and we are teaching you Oh Well by Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. A fantastic tune, a great guitar riff, and one for the people who say, Andy, you only ever teach absolute beginner songs. We can play E and A chords now, give us something more meatier. This one will really test your chops. It's got a lot of hammer-ons and flick-offs, and we're basically using notes from the minor pentatonic scale, the E minor pentatonic scale to be precise. So if you've played this scale before, then this riff is what those notes are capable of if you learn a hammer-on flick-off technique that we'll be covering in this lesson, and you get your picking hand and chord playing hand in sync together. The tabs are available on the website. If you click in the top corner, this video will be embedded there so that you can see everything on one nice page and learn a song really easily and well. But this may take a little bit of time. We're going to do it super slow for you guys so I can show you exactly what's going on. Let's get in for a close-up of this classic riff. Okay, so you can see the amount of hammer-ons and flick-offs that we've got there, but let's tackle this one section at a time. And we do have this very repetitive section of the first 5 notes, which go like this. Picking the open E string. Well, hey, nice and easy. Hammering on our middle finger at the 3rd fret, which is where the dot is on our guitar, and then picking the open string. So pick, hammer, pick. As you build your speed, you may find it easier to pick, hammer, flick off this note, which I did a couple of times in the demo, but what you're aiming for is pick, hammer, and then pick. So that's 3 notes. And then we pick the open A string, hammer on our 1st finger at the 2nd fret of the same string, and then we pick the open D string. That's the real part of this song to make sure you've got down before you go any further. And it was 6 notes actually, not 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're really struggling with that, that is the part to take on. Or also, I have a whole playlist of easier riffs than this that are using this E minor pentatonic scale. Link is in the top corner about here. As always, let's continue. So we have 2, 3. So we go on the and of 3. 2, 3, and 4, and. One more time, just so we can get the feel of this riff. 2, 3. And then we have a quicker hammer on, which is open to 2nd fret, open A to the 2nd fret. And then we go to the open string as well. Again, you can do that with a flick off, or you can pick it. So after this hammer on, we go 3 to open, open. So that open was twice, and then 2 E power chord with our 1st finger, and a mute in between. That last section. From the top. Okay. Now it's that technique of getting the flick off and the control of the mutes and everything that makes this tricky, even without the speed, to be honest with you. So the only thing is to make sure you've got that first section really sewn up before you move on from here. So let's just do it one more time. When you get this first section, it has a knock-on effect to all the other sections, and the last one is definitely the hardest, very tricky. So let's give this one a go together. In 2, 3. This is just the first section in a loop. Let's give it a go. 2, 3. Now I'm picking everything there on a down pick until those last two strums of the E chord, because they're on the off beat. Everything else is pretty much, well, it's on an 8th grid, but everything's on kind of this dun 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 dun. It's the last two that are syncopated. So they're the two that we need to do with an up strum if we can. The second half of it, very similar. Exactly the same first 6 notes. Then just finishing it off with open to 2nd fret hammer on, picking 2nd fret of the D string, single E note, up, up of a power chord. Listen to those two together, try and picture the similarities and then get that extra bit at the end. 2, 3. One more time, dead slow. 1, 2, 3. So the third time is exactly the same as the first time through. If we split this into 4 sections, so we've done the first one. We've done that one, we do a second variation. Just that ending is a little different. Then we go back to the first one. And then finally, we're going to tackle the section where it goes like this. Now, I would only do one hammer on for that last section where we would normally do the first same 6 notes basically. Both those two, I should say. Actually, there's 2 hammer-ons there. So pick, hammer, pick, pick, hammer. Those 2 hammer-ons. Exactly the same, and then pick this next routine of notes, which is a longer sequence, it's trickier, it requires alternate picking, so you want to pick everything on a down and an up to get the speed. Down, up is all the right hand's doing here. But it's just a sequence of notes that you learn, and it's pretty much our minor pentatonic scale. So we have our first 6 notes, 2, 3. That's the same as always, and then 2, 0, 2, 0, 3, 2, 0. What could be simpler? One more time. When you get used to it, and if you want to build your speed but your pick's a little loose, you can do that section with flick-offs as well, mainly coming back down. So that would be like... That was with a flick-off, a hammer on there, and then a flick-off. So you're trying to make your first finger do all the work on that section, really. But certainly a very challenging riff. And I'm working on some hand strengthening and finger strengthening exercises in my Improver Guitar course coming later this year. We're looking at around an autumn release for this. It's going to have bar chords in it. It's going to teach you about these high-level techniques of hammer-ons and flick-offs and slides and things like that, single string playing. But in general, if, don't be disheartened if this takes a little while or if this is something you can't do yet. The best place to start, if you want to nail riffs such as this one, is my E minor pentatonic scale of riffs, where we learn songs as simple as kind of spoonful. And we do the Hedro intro and TNT by AC/DC, 20th Century Boy, all those type of riffs. Get those absolutely nailed along to the record and sounding great, and then come back and tackle this one, and you should get somewhere near it as soon as your picking hand and your sort of chord playing hand are in sync together, which means that when you pick, we're hitting a note down at exactly the same time. The thing that makes everything sounds like this gargle in between, is when your hands go out of sync. Hope that was fun for you guys. I hope that helps you out. Please subscribe if you like what I'll do, and I will see you in a future lesson on my channel. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.